Happy Wednesday. How are you guys doing? I hope everyone's having a good day so far. I wanted to come on here because I just finished coming off of IG stories, and I figured why not bring the matter to here. And so today's topic is about thinking about why we as the victims of abuse don't mention our abuser's name. And this came to mind because I have been having conversations with women and who are interested in sharing their story, and what they have told me, has kind of like made me think as to why we're not seeing our abuser's name more. I have seen women who have talked to me through private messages, how they just say their name so easily. And for me personally, it hasn't been that way. For me, it's like the people who needed to know, like it took me forever to tell my truth. And then when I decided to tell the truth, I was very selective on who needed to know that. And for me, it was my parents first off, and then the person who was related to the abuser, right? And so since then, I don't bring up his name. I don't mention his name to anyone, and especially because it had to deal with someone inside the family. I have stayed shut, and it wasn't until recently, and it's actually my guest my guest woman trauma survivor who I'm highlighting this whole month, Vanessa, with her first story. I took a look back to reread it, and I realized that she mentioned her abuser's name. And so it kind of like a light bulb hit on me. I clicked on me, and I was like, like I've come a long way, so this is not me beating myself up. It's just more so of like thinking deeper. So for me, it was like, I've already gotten this far. I already said this much. I technically said what I needed to say to the people who needed to know. So, why am I still feeling like I'm not done telling my story yet, right? And then the name reference came up, and it made me think like, I know, at least I can't speak for every survivor or victim. However, I can say from personal experience that like when in me mentioning my abuser's name, it's not me wanting to trash their life. Not that they should be even considered for a second because they were the abusers, but like that's how clean I guess my heart is, in a way where like I'm not looking to create more harm. Like harm has already been done to me to the point where I literally don't have the energy to give out more harm. So it's just easier, I guess, in a way, to not bring up my abuser's name, because the last thing I want, at least right now, since I don't feel like I'm prepared to deal with all of that or how to properly handle all of that, is in knowing that like, oh, like once they find out, oh, poor Wanda, or are you okay, or why didn't you, like all those annoying questions that like it may not be for all of us, but most of us don't like hearing or don't like answering, because we don't like, it's a lot. It's an emotional process to even answer such questions. So for me, it has been, not wanting to deal with that, not wanting to deal with more family drama because of it. And again, it took me a long time from the moment I told the truth till now to realize that, it's not my fault what happens to the family dynamic afterward, because this is my truth. This is my story. This is what happened to me. I can't control other people's reactions from hearing my story. I can only control my own. And I've realized also too from other recent experiences that those that want to ride with you will ride with you without questioning you. And they will also defend you without asking you, right? So for me, it's not even about me questioning who has my back. It's about, I'm not trying to involve people that I know would come into my defense, because it's not necessary. Like it already passed. Like I'm just speaking up now to liberate myself from that pain, from that baggage that I've been carrying the whole time. And so it made me think like to come on here and be like, to ask you guys, or to at least let it marinate in your mind. Like, if you are a victim, why haven't you mentioned your abuser's name? or why don't you say it more often when you're saying your story? And again, there's no shame in it. There's nothing wrong with not doing it. Like I said, I have not mentioned, not even my own brothers know, right? They know I've been through stuff, but they don't know who it was. And again, one of the major reasons is because their relationship with that person. But then I'm also in that predicament where I'm here in creating a safe space, right? I'm here considering myself an advocate for women who have dealt with all types of trauma, right? And when I hear an abuse story, when I know that it's a story that has to deal with family, within family, because I've lived through it, fill myself up with rage, and I'm still healing from it, but I get so angry to the point where I'm like, in my mind, I'm telling the people, like I'm telling the victims of those people, of those stories to, like, say it. You have to say it, or the people who know your story have to tell, have to make everyone else know about the abuser's name, because that could happen to another family member of yours, and but then I question myself, and I'm like, how can I even ever ask that to another survivor when I haven't done so myself, right? Like, how can I demand something from another survivor when I haven't reached that point where I have told my family what happened? Because I feel like I'm getting to that point where I'm gonna have to speak up more, even though I don't want to. And it's not even about have to, because again, I know I choose what I want to share. I get that because I say the same advice. However, I'm not seeing it in a bad way. I'm seeing that eventually the time is approaching where I'm gonna have to speak up and say why me and this person are no longer in the same room, because that's how close within the family this person was, right? So it's just getting me to, think a little deeper, and, analyze and think, like, I'm not going to beat myself up for it if I don't ever do it. I think I've already gotten past that, and I'm proud of myself for that. But I do believe that, especially if the abuse came within family, it needs to be said. It just needs to be said, because you never know if someone in your family went through the same thing and they don't speak up because their parents told them not to, or because they haven't ever dared to say anything because of fear or shame or guilt or anything, right? So trust me that I hold space for you, because I'm in the same boat as you. I'm just trying to push myself a little more in actually asking myself, like, what will I gain truly? Is in me saying my abuser's name, how much good is it gonna bring to my life? And is it worth it, right? Like, is it worth me mentioning his name? No, it's no longer because he's even worthy of being mentioned or anything like that. It's just more so like, in letting more people know, will I finally be fully at peace? And for me, the answer is no, because with trauma, I don't want to say it never goes away, because I'm not in that state of mind either, where I, want to think that I'll never feel better. I do feel that healing it's a journey. I don't feel like, one ever gets fully healed, because then what's the fun in life, right? If there's no good, if there's no bad, there's no good, right? That's just how life is sometimes. So I no longer see it that way. I just see it as, like, in me speaking up more and knowing that more people are gonna know about my story and who it was specifically. Am I ready to take that on, right? Am I ready to emotionally handle that? And right now, the answer is no, it's not. But I feel like I am preparing myself for it. I feel like when that time comes, I will be ready to face whatever happens. Again, this is my story, so, like, I'm not scared about speaking up anymore. I'm just more precautious on how I will go about doing so, because it's no longer about how others will feel. It's now I'm realizing that it's more about how I will feel. And if I know I'm not ready yet to do so, then I'm gonna show myself grace. But while I do that, I will do my best to start getting closer in doing so. And so that's my message for you guys. I hope you guys got something out of it. I know there was a lot of mumbling. And I'm also all over the place. However, these are really dark, deep topics to even be vulnerable about. So this is just me being honest and, and hopefully getting you guys to think and to remind yourselves that no matter what you do, at the end of the day, it's your story. You have the power. And as long as you're able to reclaim that back, as long as you're able to reclaim your voice, you don't owe anyone anything. You choose when you want to share, if you ever choose to do so. Love you guys.